He believed I couldn't see what was happening. That was what entertained me the most, his overconfidence. The manner in which he tucked that beige envelope into my cabinet, acting as if he needed a paper clip. The shake in his hands betrayed him, even as he concealed it with a sleek grin. I observed him depart, the soft sound of his pricey footwear diminishing along the hallway. I didn't intervene. I had no reason to. At that point, the contest was already under my control. Ethan Ward, the executive's favored protege, company elite. He arrived from obscurity and was granted a position others toiled decades to achieve. I mentored him personally, showed him how the figures flow, how the networks operate when they're pristine. He was charismatic in that empty, self-certain style men adopt when they've rarely heard rejection. He'd stop by my workspace with a beverage, inquire about my days off, feign admiration for me. And for a time, I trusted him. I felt guidance still held value. I imagined trust could thrive in executive suites. Then arrived the advancement that ought to have been mine. My details were on the candidate roster, right up to the final session. I saw the leader's offspring claim my spot while I remained clapping like an idiot. No alert, no justification. Merely a courteous message regarding company reorganization. I remained silent. That's how individuals like me respond when we possess something superior to rage. We bide our time. The initial hint emerged several weeks afterward. A vanished document from the review archives, followed by one more. Summaries that I'd allegedly misplaced or neglected to deliver. I examined the network records. An individual had been entering my login from afar. I followed it, phase by phase, until I uncovered it. Ethan's electronic trace, hidden under tiers of business barriers he scarcely comprehended. He lacked the smarts to erase his path, just the boldness to assume it wasn't necessary. He'd been constructing a sequence of mistakes linked to my identity, redirecting fault, depicting me as careless. And the schedule aligned flawlessly, right prior to the impending fiscal evaluation. If oversight discovered inconsistencies, I'd be the fall guy. The executive's heir couldn't face blame. I could. That's when the icy side of me stirred. The side that doesn't shout, it hones its blades. For weeks I gathered all of it. Every entry record, every date mark, every company note he'd overlooked removing. I documented evening workplace stops under the pretext of verifying documents. I duplicated his messages, seized the details, sufficient to rebuild each action he'd taken. I even placed a few innocent-seeming inconsistencies of my own, minor variances that led directly to his workstation. When you operate discreetly, folks presume you're innocuous. That's the error that dooms them. Then I discovered the ideal lore, a paper detailing unapproved fund movements. Not authentic ones, I created them, with ample specifics to appear incriminating yet not confirmable. A preliminary edition of a monetary irregularity summary. It bore my details, naturally. And when Ethan assumed he was incriminating me, he was merely stepping into a trap I'd crafted, thread by thread. That day I left my cabinet partially ajar, the phony paper within, noticeable but subtle. I ensured Ethan spotted it when he visited with his typical relaxed smirk. He paused until I glanced elsewhere. Then he performed precisely as I anticipated, inserted it into my cabinet and exited as if he'd just planted a bomb. The instant the entrance shut, I retrieved the identical envelope and placed it into his satchel. He never detected it. He never inspected. 1 hour afterward, the oversight group entered with their stern expressions and notepads. Following them, guards. Following them, law enforcement. They'd gotten an unnamed alert. I arranged that, concerning possible record alteration related to internal shifts. They requested Ethan to unlock his satchel. And when that envelope surfaced, marked with restricted labels and my fabricated mark, the quiet in the space could have sliced metal. His expression paled. His dad's status couldn't rescue him from the proof, not with his prints covering the sheets. I observed the entire scene from my seat, composed as always. The oversight official glanced at me, bewilderment flashing in her gaze. I lifted my shoulders as if I were equally stunned. Ethan faltered, attempted to clarify, but his statements crumbled beneath the burden of the facts. I'd ensured that. Guards led him away, beyond the identical workstation where he'd once lounged, grinning, discussing Drive. He didn't glance rearward. 2 days later, the executive stepped down to prioritize relatives. Ethan faced accusations of proof alteration and company deceit. His parents' clout couldn't alter what the recordings, documents, and date stamps indicated. I'd constructed a scenario too flawless to challenge. My reputation was restored. My advancement restored. But at that stage, I'd ceased valuing ranks. Certain triumphs are more subdued, more piercing. Folks believe vengeance is about fury. It's not. It's about adjustment, about re-establishing equilibrium in a realm that leans toward advantage.